Chain's ability consisted of winding up his attack, then lunging at the player to punch them down. This ability was meant to knock out the player cold. If he hit you with it, he would instantly down execution you. This attack was dangerous, but it was scrapped and replaced with the choke ability that we have today.
The extreme results of Project Aegis Line's trials proved both successful and a failure. On paper, the stimulants delivered what was promised: soldiers that could strike harder, bleed slower, and push through exhaustion far beyond human norms. When the stimulants were applied in field operations, containing Anomaly, demonstrated impressive performance compared to prior missions. Survivability rates shot up from 14% to 37%. A dramatic improvement that brought precious time and pushed back Anomaly in several incidents. The success was short-lived, though. Operators rarely lasted more than a few missions. Despite surviving engagements, many were rendered permanently disabled due to muscular trauma, circulatory issues, or neurological damage brought by overexertion and the stimulant's intense drawbacks. Some suffered complete organ collapse within days of withdrawal, and others needed constant medical support to thrive. Even minor deployments left operators needing extensive recovery, often longer than the mission themselves. Fielding Aegis Line enhanced operators became logistically unstable. The treatments were expensive to produce, required extreme handling protocols, and their short-term effectiveness was not complemented by the long-term degradation of the soldier. Every enhanced operator was a high-value asset, burning out faster than when replacements could be made. What began as a research breakthrough quickly became a weak link. It became clear that the stimulant-based approach could not scale to meet containment demands, but higher command desperately needed a reliable replacement. This demand became the foundation for the Monolith program. The Monolith program was initiated as a direct replacement and evolution of the research already conducted by Project Aegis Line. Where Aegis Line sought to augment human capabilities through temporary chemical stimulants, the Monolith initiative aimed to completely restructure the human body itself through permanent biological and synthetic modifications. The program departed from reliance on temporary pharmacological solutions by implementing extensive grafting procedures and heavy structural augmentations. Muscular tissue was surgically dissected and replaced in layers with synthetic layered compounds using blank and interlacing with blank filaments, capable of exceeding Myostat R17's performance by 189%, while maintaining precision, stability, and structure while under complete strain. Bone density was complemented with the new muscular enhancements. The standard human skeleton was stripped of its brittle reliance on calcium phosphate and rebuilt using a dense fusion of multi-layer graphene and blank. This fusion of materials, also known as composite blank, was implanted directly into the marrow and coated layer by layer onto the bone. Following these enhancements, the first trials were conducted 39 hours post-procedure. Subject OP blank was instructed to engage in striking a 1-inch steel plate with full force. After 2 strikes, the plate was punctured completely as if it were paper without the subject's hands sustaining metacarpal or ulnar microfractures or any type of damage at all. Subsequent tests recorded over 3,400 psi per strike and momentary acceleration bursts surpassing 6.2 g-force. All vitals remained stable. The augmentations provided extreme force output and structural durability, but did not provide any shock absorbers, load-bearing support, or momentum control. Simulated stress tests revealed the metabolic strain and mechanical inefficiency once sustained movement, evasive maneuvers, or any other multi-vector movement were introduced. The Goliath frame. Ground operations and logistics, infantry assault tactical harness, was the external solution accepted by higher command. The P-Mark-Y Goliath unit was the first functional prototype developed at blank, within an engineering wing buried beneath a decommissioned logistics depot. Initiated in 20 blank. The project focused on creating an external mechanical support system capable of compensating for the limitations observed in the biological augmentations. Initial trials of the P-Mark-I Goliath unit revealed significant operational challenges. The suit functioned as a cumbersome external shell rather than an extension of the wearer's body. Users were required to exert force against the mechanical frame, resulting in rapid fatigue and impaired mobility. Early test subjects were exclusively drawn from the pool of Monolith biological augmentation failures, individuals seen as irrecoverable and discarded, but still useful enough for testing. Despite their augmentations, subjects outfitted with the P-Mark-Y Goliath unit suffered from severe physical distress, with many experiencing acute muscle strain, joint dislocation, and traumatic psychological breakdown due to the suit's resistance and lack of responsiveness. However, the unit did demonstrate significant amplification of physical strength and structural support, proving the early stages of the unit to be worth working on. Tests recorded strength outputs exceeding 350% of baseline in controlled lifting, pushing, and pulling exercises. The data supported the potential use of the frame in various fields, such as high-load logistics and combat applications. Controlled trials demonstrated the unit's capacity to move over 560 kilograms of dead weight across uneven terrain, stabilize under sustained recoil, and apply enough torque to shear military-grade bolts. R&D was accelerated, finding a solution to the lack of mobility found in the early tests of the P-Mark-I Goliath unit. A neural implant was proposed at a meeting located at blank on 20 blank. A series of prototype neural interfaces were developed under the designation Neural Interface Controller, NIC. Early models consisted of external neural clamps and subdermal electrode arrays applied to failed monolith candidates that possessed an acceptable consciousness range. By prototype NX/3B, synchronization was achieved, reducing movement lag from 800 milliseconds to 280 to 310 milliseconds. Subject F/OP**, a previously paralyzed monolith failure, was able to stand and walk with the P-Mark-I Goliath unit for over 4 minutes before collapsing due to neural overstimulation. Despite the neurological trauma, the data collected was promising. Prototype NIC/4D introduced subdermal implants and direct implants to the cerebral cortex. For the first time, control latency dropped below 90 milliseconds, and fine motor tasks such as object manipulation, writing, and other tasks were observed. Subject OP blank successfully lifted a 700-kilogram sled, performed a 180-degree turn, and stood upright for 11 minutes before the neural interface burned out. The latest neural interface, NIC-VI, integrated direct neural implants to the cerebellum, neocortex, and primary motor cortex, dropping control latency to 4 milliseconds, effectively being accepted as the last neural interface. This implant has been fielded to various Monolith operators that have been deployed, but full operational deployment of all operators did not yet occur until complete synchronization between the neural interface and the Goliath exoskeleton was achieved. A finalized version of the P1 Markway Goliath unit, designated Markway Goliath, was also deployed in conjunction. It incorporated modular design principles, standardized hardpoint, allowing for the attachments of coded weapon systems and tactical equipment. The rest of the paper is ripped off.